Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. UFC is tonight. 2 title fights on the line. And on the top of the card is the man who's arguably the pound-for-pound best fighter in MMA on the planet. He has defended his belt 10 straight times as Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, and he is going for that 11th, that elusive number to break Anderson Silva's record. Demetrious, how you doing?
No, good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, I first spoke to you almost 7 years ago. It was right before you fought Dominick Cruz, and you and I were talking at the time, and you said to me on the radio that for you, win or lose versus Dominick Cruz, that was not the end game for you. That wasn't the bigger goal for you. And now, almost 7 years later, you're on the precipice of becoming one of the greatest and most historical MMA fighters in UFC history. Talk about the journey that it's been for you the last 7 years.
Yeah, the last 7 years has been definitely a journey. Obviously defending the belt, being the only champion in the flyweight division, just growing as an athlete, it's definitely been a journey. So for me, it's been fun just staying focused and learning new things and competing all around the world, and I'm excited to be able to do it and be blessed to be in this position.
Where is your eventual goal with this? Do you want to just keep defending the belt? Do you want to try to maybe do crossover fights? Do you feel like there's really a place that you want to go from here? Because you're only 31 years old. It's not like you're old in MMA terms or in life terms.
Yeah, obviously first things first is get to this fight tonight, and then other than that, we will see what happens. I don't try to look into the future. I have some goals that I want to do, possibly crossover fight if the money is right, or go up a different weight class if the money is right. But other than that, I'm focused on getting this job done tonight, and then I'll sit down with my coaches and my manager and the UFC and see what's next.
Ray Borg, talk about what he brings to this fight and what you see yourself being able to do against him.
Yeah, Ray Borg, he's a tough guy. He comes from a great camp, Greg Jackson. I got to go out there and be the best Demetrious Johnson. He's tough, young, hungry, and he's looking to come take my head off, and I got to make sure I can let the man do that.
Speaking of camps, the man that you have worked with for years is Matt Hume. He's considered one of the best strategists in MMA history. Talk about what he has meant for your career.
Yeah, those guys have meant a lot. Helped me get ready for my fights, helped me grow into the martial arts I am right now, and just stay humble and focused. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those guys back home and my coaches.
I'm glad you mentioned humble and focused, because so many times we see in sports, we constantly hear, because of the TMZs in the world and stuff, all the negative with the athletes in the world. We don't hear enough about like LeBron James giving tens of millions of dollars to kids for them to go to college. We don't hear about the positive athletes in the world. And you're a guy who, you got a clean reputation. And I don't think athletes like you get showcased enough because you don't grab the negative headlines.
Yeah, because we're not clickbait. If you had one guy who did X, Y, and Z to his wife, and then you have one guy who donated, $1 million to a school. The guy who did X, Y, and Z to his wife is going to get way more headlines and clickbait because it's going to get way more traffic on the internet. So I think there's companies out there that want to utilize that to show their numbers and their sponsors that how much foot traffic they have. So it's all about, what's going to bring the numbers for those people. It's a good thing that I'm not, always on the headlines and stuff, because that means I'm doing right in life.
Absolutely. Demetrious Johnson, UFC Flyweight Champion. UFC is tonight. That is on pay-per-view. Demetrious, you mentioned the fact that you're a family man. You've mentioned in multiple interviews the value of having your wife at your side. And I remember when I first spoke to you almost 7 years ago, it was your wife that helped set up the interview. Talk about what she has meant for you in your career.
She's awesome. She's always supported me since my amateur days. She's been with me since my second amateur fight. So she's been through the ropes, the highs and the lows of my career. And, to be able to come home, have a fresh mind. She's always take care of the kids, make sure I get my adequate rest, sleep, relax, do what I want to do. She's been a huge help to me in my camps and in my life.
Why do you think that guys who, you're a 125-pound champion, why do you think that, from your perspective, the guys in the lighter weight classes, despite the fact that they have phenomenal athleticism like you do, or they may have crazy speed, or they may have great skill, they don't always get the recognition
I don't know. It's something you got to ask the public. I give all athletes recognition, whether they're male, female, small, big, whatever it is. I don't discriminate. If you got skill, you got my respect. Or if you step in the octagon, you got my respect. So that's a question you're going to ask the public.
You've been around the sport now for a while. Where do you think MMA is going, considering, we saw fiasco, the event that was McGregor-Mayweather. We've seen the UFC get bought for a crazy amount of billions of dollars. We're seeing all across sports, every sport is evolving because of the money, because of the media, because of the 24-hour cycle and social media. So where do you think MMA is going?
I'm not sure. Obviously, it's going to keep continuing to grow. I mean, the UFC has a lot of great athletes. They're putting on a lot of great cards. They got, GSP coming back and the MSG. So I think the UFC is going to keep on evolving, and you might see more crossover events like that. And it's just a matter of time till we see what's next.
You mentioned crossover events. Could we ever possibly see, for example, we talk about MMA fighters going to boxing, but there are obviously other aspects of martial arts, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Could we maybe also see the potential of crossover events when it comes to that as well?
Yeah, I think you can see maybe some jiu-jitsu for the guys who have time off, but I don't think you see anything else. Obviously the money is in boxing, so if there's no money in that sport, don't expect to see any MMA fighters in that sport.
Talking with Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. He's looking for his 11th straight title defense to break Anderson Silva's record. That's 11 straight title defenses. What does that mean to you?
It means the world, man. I mean, I got to go out there and attain it, and then once I do that, I sit back and think about what it means, Then I'll be like, I'm not satisfied. Let's go with 12.
What is the one thing that you would be doing if you were not an MMA fighter?
I'll probably be working in a warehouse somewhere, doing construction.
You wouldn't be a professional gamer? Because I know you're on Twitch all the time.
No.
So.
Yeah, that's different. That's more of a form of entertainment than,
Gotcha.
When it comes to, I don't want to be like, I think mixed martial arts and my lifestyle has enabled me to get to this point where I can stream on Twitch and be involved in the video game community. If I wasn't a professional martial artist, I'll probably be in a warehouse somewhere just working 9 to 5 and then making ends meet and playing games whenever I get the chance to.
Demetrious Johnson going for the 11th straight, the elusive number, UFC title defenses. Demetrious, after you win tonight, what are you going to do? How are you going to celebrate?
I got some friends, family in here, my coaches. I got some the Twitch boys out here, the Mighty Boys, and we're going to go celebrate at one of the local bars and just enjoy ourselves.
Tonight on pay-per-view, buy it. There's 2 UFC title fights on tonight, and on top of the card is Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. Demetrious, you've come a long way, man. Good to see you having success. I look forward to seeing you win tonight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.